beautiful day dawned at Cederberg Oasis, and we decided to leave early, planning to have breakfast at Toos Rivier at about 9:30. Clearly, we are slow learners given what had happened the day before. There was plenty of adventure in store for us in the disappearing road to nowhere that resulted in our having our next meal at about 2 o'clock that day. But first, Bernie had to sort that puncher out once and for all. If I'm not mistaken, this was the fourth occasion on which we had had to pay it attention. The correct name for the disappearing road to nowhere is in fact the Craig Marshall Pass, up which we had come in the opposite direction a few years ago with relatively little difficulty. It took the combined efforts of PJ, Bernie and myself at least half an hour to sort out my smashed side stand position center. Just a heads up that from now onwards some of the narration will not match the video footage, as we don't have sufficient real-time video footage of what actually happened. But before we get on to the story of the day, let's sit back and watch Bernie up to his tricks again.
Left! Yeah. You okay, Bernie? Okay.
Whilst we were attending to my side stand switch, Andre, Wayne and Jean had gone ahead, and about 5 minutes later had encountered a complete washaway of the track. After approximately 10 minutes had elapsed and there was still no sign of us, Jean had decided to walk back up the extremely gnarly track to see what the problem was. A debate then ensued as to whether we should continue down the gnarly track or cut our losses and turn back. With no consensus having been reached, Jean decided to go back and fetch Andre and Wayne, who in the meantime had been busy beaving away in the hot sun, building ramps on the entrance to and exit from the washaway. As I recall, the group was split approximately half-half on proceeding or turning back, that is until such time as someone suggested that we split up. That is when the group was suddenly surprised by a fearsomely authoritative dimension to the otherwise gentle giant character of Wayne, our own Attila the Hun. He said resolutely, with a steely edge to his voice and a cold, hard glint in his eye, "Together we prevail, or together we die." Turning back proved to be the correct decision, as when we stopped at this farmer's property, he confirmed to us that the track had at least a further 7 impossible and impassable washaways further down the valley.
Bernie, you must know I've never hooted you before. I can't know you when I hooted it wasn't because I was trying to
Yeah, but you had him hanging off the back the whole trip. Why?
Some people go to just extraordinary lengths to ensure social media coverage. You may recall that Bernie fell off his bike 6 times on one day in our last trip. He's fallen off today already. Now his luggage is coming off, and I forgot to mention that there were a couple of falls that I failed to catch on camera on the day before, one of which was in a deep puddle, the only benefit of which was when Big Bertha had her rear wheel completely submerged, one could see the air still escaping from his rear tire. You may recall that we ended off day 2 with PJ practicing his perpendicular off-piste parking. Well, here he gets it completely perfected. So you can imagine that PJ must have hit the culvert in the track, and that it would have taken a Herculean stunt trick effort to end up parking where he did. What a fantastic 3-day adventure we had. Huge thank you to Andre from all of us for having arranged everything. Goodbye to the Cederberg, and yeah, we really missed our Ben 10 buddies from KZN and from the Arctic. And Mika, you'll be pleased to see that even though your puncher tutorials from previous years have not paid off, at the very least your cake ritual lives on. So PJ, we hope that you managed to sort out all the bends and the dings and the cracks. And finally, Brian, we all wish you a speedy and full recovery. Until our next adventure, au revoir.